Okay, all right. Hello. Back the camera up, back the camera up, back the camera up. My name is Brandon Walker, and I am the king of the South. And I am the king of Iowa. What's up, everybody? Bang, bang! Woo, did we have a good time on Saturday. We were in the beautiful city of Iowa City, Iowa, the grayest fucking city with the shortest buildings in the world. You got to go to the next county to kill yourself. The buildings are so short. It is Brandon Walker, the Brandon Walker College Football Show on a Monday. What's up, Rays fan? Rob Wooden, Casey Miller, Brian Bradley, Carla Mitchell. She says it's a great day to be a Tennessee Vol. I said it's great to be a Tennessee Vol. Well, probably couldn't read that back. But anyway, first time, long time, Jeremy Pavlock, King Jeffy Joe. I just got canceled. D. Jonesy 30, Kentucky to Tennessee. Miguel Alonso Ciervo Hiano. I don't know how to say the last one. Casey Waller, Rob Wooden, Stan Canley, Mark Struck, Graham Stoltz, Gerald A. White, Julianne Borba, Joe Mama. What's up, everybody? We are rocking and rolling on a Monday. We are going. We've got 10 takes on a Monday, then I'll take all your calls. Here are my 10 takes on a Monday. Are you ready? Number 1, Iowa, I own you. Look deep into my eyes. I walked into your building. I walked into your state. I walked onto your stage. I flipped you all off. Told you suck. Told you fuck off. Told you that your quarterback was terrible. Told you that you were about to lose to Iowa State. Told you that you weren't going to score many points. I got my ass on a private jet and left. And what happened in the aftermath? Everything I said came true. Everything I said. You've got the worst offense in the country. There I am. By the way, I love the girl in the middle. I want her picture. If I get her picture of what that looked like from her perspective, I'd love to get it. That, ladies and gentlemen, is heat. I got friends in the wrestling business, MJF, Tony Khan, Triple H, all these guys. You pay to have heat like that. That is heat. Walked on their stage, told them their women were ugly. What'd they do? Threw a can at somebody else. You got the video? Okay. Thought you did. My dog of the week, the Iowa Hawkeyes offense. You guys fucking suck and you know it. That's why none of you can throw and hit me. It might as well be Spencer Petras out here throwing the fucking ball.
Well, don't. Holy shit.
All right.
Okay, that just hit me straight in the head.
You guys are horrible at throwing. No more throwing. You're hitting us.
Guys.
Oh, shit.
That was close.
Is Rico out here? That one almost killed me.
No more throwing.
Whoever threw that one.
Somebody
please.
just hit me square in the head with a
She's
full-ass bear.
pregnant.
I'm pregnant,
She's
so you're an
pregnant.
asshole.
No
Stop
more throwing.
Yeah, that's
no more
crazy.
throwing.
I got crushed.
I mean, I got
You guys
crushed.
encouraged it.
You
Crushed.
encourage it with your face.
Listen, this is what we're going to do. After the show's over, we're going to leave Brandon on the stage. You can throw shit down,
Yeah,
all right?
pelt him. Don't pelt
Wait
us.
until we're gone.
At work.
Yeah.
You can play dodge.
By the way, at
Keep
the
us
end,
safe,
So
please.
no more throwing.
At the
Save your
end.
cans until then. And then you just tee off on them.
at the end, I tried to stay out there. When they left, I tried to stay out there because I wanted to see if I could get them to throw a bunch of stuff again. But Mike, the security guard, says, "Get your fucking ass off the stage." So there you go. 888-STOOL-22, 888-STOOL-22, 888-STOOL-22. Please call in. Please come in and let's talk football. It was fun. It was fun being the bad guy. It was fun walking into a place. By the way, the original problem that Iowa had with me is when Mississippi State lost to them in 2019, and I acted like a bitch, and I was like, "Oh, I can't believe we lost to the slowest, whitest team in the Big Ten." They got mad that I was racist and called them the whitest team in the Big Ten. Can we see that picture again? Let's see the picture. See that one? What y'all mad at? What y'all? What's the problem? Where'd the beef come from? Anyway, Mississippi State almost lost to a team USC is going to beat by a billion. Mississippi State beat Arizona 39-17, you dumb fuck. 10 takes on a Monday. Take 1 was I own Iowa. Take number 2, Alabama's got issues. Now, they're still one of the best teams in the country because they have a Heisman Trophy winning quarterback. They go out to Texas and got lucky to win the game. And I mean they got lucky. They got some officiating help. They had Texas missing some kicks, stumbling on their own dick. They had Texas have a backup quarterback. Quinn Ewers plays that game. Texas wins easily. Alabama's got issues. And you say, no, this happens every year. This happens all the time. Alabama later this season has to go to Arkansas, which is better than Texas. They have to go to Tennessee, which is arguably better than Texas. They got to go to LSU, which is not very fun. They got to go to Ole Miss, which is probably as good as Texas. You got to go to all 4 of those games, and you say, well, Alabama always takes care of business in those games. Here's Alabama's last 5 road games. Their last 5 road games. And keep in mind, they don't go on the road much. They only usually go the SEC-mandated 4 games. They usually only play 4 road games because they're pussies. This year they did go to Austin. The last 5 road games for Alabama, starting last year, they won 31-29 at Florida. A Florida team so bad they fired their coach. Alabama won by 2 and had to stop a 2-point conversion at the end. They lost 41-38 at Texas A&M with Zach Calzada as their quarterback. They won 49-9 at Mississippi State, whatever. They won 24-22 in overtime at Auburn against TJ Finley at quarterback. They won 20-19 at Texas. Again, Alabama's last 5 road games, a 2-point win, a 3-point loss, a 40-point win, a 2-point win, and a 1-point win. They're not good away from home, and that Heisman quarterback's not going to be able to save them every time. At Arkansas is going to be a motherfucker for Alabama. 15 penalties, that's not a Nick Saban team. Something weirdly is up. They're not special at receiver. They're not special at running back right now. Their offensive line got pushed around by a team that hasn't pushed anybody around in years. Alabama's worth watching right now. Has the gap between the elites and the non-elites disappeared? Ohio State barely beat Notre Dame last week, who just lost to Marshall. Georgia, the exception, they're killing everybody. Alabama, look at what they did. Clemson, they've been struggling. Is the gap between the elites and the non-elites smaller than it's been? Question. Take 3. It was a reality check weekend. Reality check for the Texas A&M Aggies. A reality check for the Wisconsin Badgers, who lost to Washington State. Notre Dame Fighting Irish lost to Marshall. The Iowa Hawkeyes scored 7 points, losing to Iowa State. This weekend told me something. Not only did Iowa, but not only did a bunch of ranked teams lose, not only did the top 10 go 1-9 against the spread, it proves if you don't pay attention heavily to your offense, if you don't focus your attention on your offense, if you don't make sure you grow your offense, build your offense, get your offense up to speed, you're vulnerable to getting your ass beat. Wisconsin goes out there every year with no receivers, an average quarterback, and they got a good offensive line, a good running back. They think that's enough. Well, that got your ass beat against Washington State. You've got to evolve eventually. Iowa continues to roll the worst quarterback in the country out there and a bad offensive coordinator, and they think it's fine. Get your ass beat against Iowa State. Texas A&M, 5-star, shitty quarterback. Get your ass beat against App State. Notre Dame, gross. We move on to take 4. That is Notre Dame. There's weird stuff going on in Notre Dame, man. This guy's coached 3 games. He's 0-3. That's fine because you can throw away the first 2. That's easy. Throw away the bowl game. He shouldn't have been there anyway. Throw away the Ohio State game. That's Ohio State on the road. Nothing shameful about that. But you come home, you get on a mic, and you say it's good that we're going to have the first win ever here today, and Marshall beat you? Marshall's not even very good. Sunbelt's on fire, but Marshall's not even very good, and they beat your ass. They beat Notre Dame. Oh, maybe letting players choose the coach wasn't the greatest idea in the world. Now, it's early. He's got all the time in the world. But Buckner, the starter from last week, isn't on the depth chart this week? There's weird shit going on in Notre Dame, man. Jesus about to come down off that cross and ask some questions. 888 Stool 22. The Big Ten West stinks. Nebraska stinks. Purdue got beat by Penn State. Minnesota's the only team kind of cruising. Wisconsin loses to Washington State. Iowa loses to Iowa State. Northwestern loses to Duke. Illinois last week loses to Indiana. What happened to the Big Ten West? I thought coming in this was going to be an exciting division. They stink. They suck. If Minnesota's not good, that whole division fucking sucks. 888 Stool 22. I'd be out for the year, too. I mean, fuck. I'm getting beat by Marshall. 888 Stool 22. Where are we at? Quinn Ewers, by the way. Quinn Ewers. Yeah, Buckner got injured, dumbass. Yeah, I was flying back from Iowa. I thought he just sucked. That's fine. Now we're back to the Drew Pine experiment. That's fun. They threw his ass out with the bathwater. They had him 3 games last year, and they threw his ass out. Now they say, oh, please. Whatever. Where are we at? Quinn Ewers is the real deal, by the way. If he gets back quick, Texas is going to be back. Now, hopefully he can get back by the time they play Oklahoma State, some teams like that. But that guy was about to beat Alabama. That guy is a dude. That guy just, 50 yards down the field. And it's such a surprise to people. Like, oh, he's not proven. He's not this. He's not that. Doesn't matter. Guy was the top recruit in the country. That was like he broke the quarterback scale of recruits. Turns out he's good. Number 7, the Florida Gators. Boy, were you guys feeling yourselves last week. Boy, were you guys out telling everybody you're stupid. Boy, were you saying, I told you about Billy Napier. Told you. How did you turn a quarterback from a Heisman candidate to absolute shit in a week? What happened to Anthony Richardson? He beats Utah at home, and now all of a sudden he can't complete a forward pass against Kentucky? And Kentucky fans all come around now. They want their flowers. They want, please tell us we're good. Please pat us on their head and say we're pretty. I don't think y'all were very good either. Y'all were just the less smelly of the 2 dogs on the field. Like, Florida was awful the other night. Kentucky went a whole half, couldn't block, couldn't run. Come out in the second half, they ran it down their fucking throat. Shout out to Mark Stoops, the winningest coach ever at Kentucky, which, would take a normal coach about 3 weeks. Anyway, Mark Stoops, the winningest coach ever at Kentucky, but boy, did they expose Florida. Florida was soft. They had a 16-7 lead. Richardson just turning the ball over everywhere way he can. I guess if I went back to the summer and I said, hey, Florida, would you take 1-1 after Kentucky-Utah? You might say yes, but after you beat Utah, you certainly don't want 1-1. Without our top running back, by the way, Sean Burr, without our top running back, what a bitch-ass excuse that is. The most replaceable position on the field, by the way, is running back, period. It's replaceable without our top running back. Oh, you're talking about Kentucky. Okay. You're talking about Kentucky. That's fine. That makes a little bit more sense. Number 8, USC is – don't judge Florida by 1 game. Why the fuck not, BMH? You wanted to judge them by 1 game last week, you toothless jean-wearing freak. You wanted to judge Florida by 1 game last week. Now, don't judge Florida by 1 game. Well, you had a whole group of voters that voted them number 12 based on 1 game last week. What changed? I'm so smart. (888-STOOL-22). You can call in right now. 888-STOOL-22. USC is real. This is take number 8. Kentucky won because of 2 turnovers. Stop. Yeah, 2 of the worst turnovers you've ever seen. He just handed them the fucking ball. Are Florida fans going to be in here making excuses? Y'all were calling last week saying how great you are, how Napier's great, how this, that, blah, 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 blah. Now Kentucky just sticks their blue and white dick down your throat and you act like, oh, no, it's just 1 game. Just 1 game. Shut up. USC is real. USC's real. I think they're going to be a playoff team. Their defense still has issues. I don't know who's going to keep up with them in the Pac-12. Who's keeping up with them? Addison's going off. Caleb Williams going off. Got like 10 incomplete passes. USC is real and will matter in the end of the season. BYU will matter at the end of the season. They beat a top 10 team the other night. They're going to beat Oregon on the road this week. They're going to beat Arkansas later. They're going to beat Notre Dame later. Watch out. BYU is going to be a top 10 team very soon. Who does that Nebraska hire? Matt Rule? Matt Campbell? Lance Leipold? One of the best coaches in the country, by the way. Did I tell you about Kansas? Did I tell you about Kansas? Told you about Kansas in the summer. Kansas is good. Kansas is getting better. Kansas is getting better. They're 2-0. They just beat a Big 12 team on the road. 888-STOOL22. 888-STOOL22. Matt Johnson says, LOL BYU. See, when you dumb cunts come to this show, don't say dumb shit. Don't say dumb shit, because I'm going to tell you, like Matt Johnson, that's just a dumb fucking thing to say. 888-STOOL22. Hugh Freeze, Cody? Hugh Freeze? You want hookers and stuff around? Everybody wants to hire Hugh Freeze until it comes time to hire Hugh Freeze. Then they do a background check and they realize they can't hire Hugh Freeze. Period. Brandon looks stressed. Oh, I'm chilling. I got my tie-dye on. I got my Bill Walton thing going on today. Been years since Tennessee came away with an ugly win. How do you think that would? Casey Waller, if you want to come to this show and pretend I'm going to act like that was a good win for Tennessee, you got the wrong guy. They went on the road. They beat a ranked team. Yay. With a backup quarterback. Pitt's backup quarterback, who isn't better than me, took Tennessee to overtime. I had way higher hopes for Tennessee on Saturday than this. If you told me Slovis wasn't going to play, I tell you Tennessee's winning by 3 touchdowns. And they didn't. They won. That's good. It opens up everything for Tennessee. But could have been more impressive than that. 888-STOOL22. Thoughts on Auburn, Penn State? I think Penn State's about to beat the shit out of them. That's what I think. Let me get a little tea from my throat. I gotta coat my throat. That's just pure honey. We go to the calls. Let's see what the guys are talking about. I am in on BYU being really good, but 3.5. Yeah, Oregon 3.5 is interesting. I thought I had to pay for this show, says Jerry Bow. No, you got to pay for the blowjob. TJ will be administering those later.
Wait.
What? What'd you say?
What did you say? I wasn't listening.
I said, he asked if he had to pay for the show.
Yeah.
I said, no. You have to pay for the blowjob.
Oh.
That's what TJ's administering later. The blowjob.
Oh.
The where you suck.
I'm not familiar.
Does a guy who plows snow, is that a blowjob? No. Hey. Raise your hand in the studio if you have an undefeated college football team. By the way, the fact Katie can raise her hand is shocking. How North Carolina North Carolina is the worst undefeated team in the history of college football.
3-0. More than you are.
Yeah, we just haven't played 3 games. We'll be 3-0 after we go down to Baton Rouge this weekend.
Sounds like a you problem.
You're also personally 3-0.
Yeah. Why?
What?
Beat Memphis.
Uh-huh.
Beat Arizona.
Yeah.
Beat Iowa.
Beat Iowa. Sure did. Miguel in Fort Worth gets our call started today. Go Miguel in Fort Worth.
King Walker, before my question, I want to say it's an honor to speak to a hero who withstood an onslaught from those barbarians in Iowa City, and thoughts and prayers for Casey, a pregnant woman that was assaulted by those cowards.
I couldn't say it better myself. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Guys, we spoke on Thursday. Iowa State, an unbiased opinion. They're a better team, better program. The 99-yard drive showed there's a bright future. And with Iowa, though, playing the 1935 boring football, lacking heart and emotion, a program full of nepotism and racial lawsuits, how can fans be proud, and what do you think the future looks like for that program?
Well, I told people that Iowa fans were assholes before this ever started, and nobody believed me. Nobody believed me. Everybody was like, oh, what'd you do to make Iowa fans mad? They're Midwest nice. Midwest nice my fucking ass, okay? There's a bad seed. There's a bad something in Iowa's fan base. They are just vicious, ruthless, mean people, all right? That's the fucking truth. And I'd be mean too. Listen, it's 2022. If you're not at least attempting to have a decent offense, if you can't score more than 7 points in 2 different games, and your offensive coordinator or the guy who's running your offense is the coach's son, that's a depressing ass place to be, man. That is a depressing. They booed their own quarterback the other day. It ain't the quarterback's fault. You're running an offense. Guess what? Spider 2 wide banana pretty much every time. That's your pass play. Play action with the tight end leaking out and the fullback in the flat. Yay, that's tough to defend. Fuck. I mean, I don't understand why they keep doing that and think it's going to change the results. It's just crazy. And Iowa State, 2-0. I like Matt Campbell. We'll see where they go from here. He might go to Lincoln, Nebraska. Elijah from Auburn, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. Hope you're having a great day. Everyone's talking about Matt Campbell for the Nebraska job, but I think it's time that Bill O'Brien gets his start again. I think under Saban for 2 years, I think it's his time to leave that and be the head coach.
Maybe. I certainly don't get get inspired by the thought of Bill O'Brien being my head coach. Like, he was so conservative and boring at the Houston Texans. I don't see how could you create an exciting brand of football bringing in that conservative ass dude. I understand that he's at Alabama right now, and Sark reclaimed his career, Kiffin reclaimed his career, but they did so using an exciting brand of offense at Alabama, and I certainly didn't watch that offense the other day and think, wow, they need to get this guy at Nebraska. This Bill O'Brien's not lighting things up in Alabama, so I don't know. I got to disagree with that. I think Bill O'Brien's an old-school, boring-ass coach, and I don't see him getting a job like that.
Okay, that makes sense.
All right, thank you very much. 888-STOOL-22, 888-STOOL-22. We go to Mike in Texas. Go, Mike.
Hey, Brandon, how you doing?
Better than most people have ever done in their entire lives.
Yeah, I got a question about Texas A&M. Do you think making the switch to Max Johnson at starting QB is going to make a difference on our offense, or do we just need new offense entirely?
Well, there's two things here. Number one, why the fuck wouldn't you switch to Max Johnson? Listen, you're 2 games in.
I completely agree.
You weren't great in the opener offensively, and then the only fluke about the App State game was App State didn't win by more points. They controlled the whole game. Imagine taking your NIL money, $30 million or whatever you would call it. Imagine going out and signing the number 1 class in the country, and those guys get to campus and say, welcome, guys. We're going to change the culture here at A&M. We're about to win national titles. Here's your quarterback. It's Haynes King. I mean, why do you go through the motions of investing, and getting the best recruiting class in the country only to throw out a quarterback that just has proven he's not all that good? Why do you try to put pig on the lipstick? It's just crazy to me that they did everything they needed to do to improve that team and said, quarterback, well, it'll take care of itself. Max Johnson has at least won at the Power 5 level. Hell, he beat A&M last year. He was solid at LSU. Why the fuck wouldn't you give him a shot?
I completely agree. I think the people wanted to see what King was capable of. At this point, we know what he's capable of. It's nothing good. I mean, I'm not super impressed with Max Johnson. I think he'll do a lot better than King will, though.
Yeah. I mean,
on our offense.
Can he do worse? All right, fine. 888-STOOL-22. Caden in Fort Worth, go.
Hey, Brandon. Hope you're having a great day today. I wanted to pick your brain a little bit. Obviously, Texas defense played out what I thought was a pretty good game. I didn't think it was, like, elite by any means. I thought Alabama shot themselves in the foot a lot, but wanted to get your take. Obviously, me being a TCU guy, what was your take on the broadcast just absolutely sucking off Gary Patterson? The guy didn't even have a headset on, and all they could talk about was he was the one that was leading the Texas.
Well, I don't know where that was going, but I wasn't able to watch the broadcast. I was on stage getting thrown things at me, or getting things thrown at me. I don't know how words work today. I was getting things thrown at me in Iowa, and so I didn't see the broadcast. I was checking it, and we had it on a screen off stage, and we were watching it, but I didn't see the broadcast. But if Alabama plays and Texas plays, the announcers are usually just going to spend the whole time sucking somebody's dick, so that's just how it works. 888-STOOL-22, line 5. It's Mark in Philly, and I wonder if you're going to think about this game what I think about this game. Go, Mark.
B-Walk, my guy. I called in 4 picks last week. Now, I did call a dead dog loser in UVA, but I also called in BYU, USC, and Mississippi State. So that puts me at 3-1 on my call-in picks and 5-2 so far this year calling in.
I have a question.
Program.
I have a question.
Yeah.
You called me last week and asked me to talk you into or out of a pick. What pick was it?
That was USC. You were trying to talk me out of it, but as we were talking, I ended up talking myself more into it.
Yeah.
It cashed, but probably way closer than it should have been.
Yeah.
But it did cash. I'm hoping to keep the 5-2 so far in this program rolling with a pick on the biggest game of the week. I know all signs point to an A&M win, bouncing back after a loss, but that outdated offense run by that buffoon Jimbo is garbage truck juice, and their QB is non-existent. All those recruits and no quarterback. I also just don't think there's going to be some huge athlete disparity that the SEC usually has. You're not just going to roll the balls out and out-athlete Miami. At this point, I think A&M would be lucky to go 8-4 like last year. Miami's a very live dog to win the game, in my opinion, but I love them covering the 5.5.
Yeah, I think I like A&M in the bounce back spot. Everything you said is right, but I think it was this time last year, and I want to say Mississippi State beat them 26-24. And you think, well, they're dead in the water. That's it. It's going to be another average year. Next week they beat Alabama at home. Like when you have athletes like that, you always have a puncher's chance, and they do have better athletes than Miami because they got better athletes than most of the teams they play, but they don't have significantly better athletes than Miami. Jimbo's interesting, man. My question about Jimbo Fisher is, can he perform so poorly this year that he gets on the hot seat? And the answer is yes, but not for reasons you think. If they perform so poorly, they go 5-7 or 6-6, which both are on the table. If they go 5-7 or 6-6, and half of that number one class decides to transfer out, decides to go elsewhere, decides to go get their money elsewhere, he's suddenly in trouble. And now, if he goes 5-7, 6-6, and can hand the team over to that class next year, that's different. But I can see that being on the table. Them having a bad season and losing a lot of that class, and all hell would break loose then. Thank you very much. 888 Stool 22. Austin in Los Angeles. Believe that's in California. We'll have it checked. TJ, can you check that out, please? Go ahead, Austin.
Hey, Brandon, how's it going? Just wanted to pick your brain after Scott Frost being fired real quick. Who were your top 3 coaches on truly a hot seat? I'm going to hang up and listen to your answer, man, but as a Trojan fan, loved Marshall just taking Notre Dame to the fucking woodshed.
Yeah.
Go Mississippi State. Brian Kelly is a goddamn murderer.
All right. Okay.
I believe he was from Los Angeles, Texas.
Oh, okay. That's my mistake then. I apologize to the residents of L.A., Texas. Hot seat. Brian Harson's on the hot seat. Who are the 3 I thought were about to get fired? I put it on a Twitter poll the other day. Who's going to get fired first? Frost, Harson,
Brown,
or Neil Brown at West Virginia? I think Neil Brown's the next to go. Guy has taken a team that's decent and lost 2 games. He lost to Pitt, should have beat them. Lost to Kansas in overtime. You lose to Kansas in the Big 12, even though they're getting better. Be careful. Your days are numbered. So I think those are the 2. As far as a third, I don't know if I can think of a third just right now that Frost is gone. 888 Stool 22. 888 Stool 22. We go to line 7. David in Blacksburg, Love, North Carolina. Go, David.
Hey, Brandon. I've got 2 things for you. First off, I was tailgating before the Virginia Tech Boston College game.
Yes.
I was reminded of all the dumb-ass, self-important, absolute loser Ole Miss fans that thought that their make-believe, wealthy, douchebag garden party can compare to a scene like Center Street at all.
It's one of the more ridiculous things in college football that we allow Ole Miss to think they have the best tailgates in the country. I got to tell you all a secret about them. You can't have grills in their tailgates. Because they're in a bunch of trees, you can't have hot food. It's all prepared food. It's all catered food. It's all cold chicken tenders. You can't have a flame in Ole Miss tailgates. Do you understand what I'm saying? You can't have a flame. It means you can't have ribs. You can't have steaks. You can't have anything off the grill. You can't have it. That can't be the best tailgate in the country. I'm sorry. And Center Street is way fucking better than the Grove. Not even close. Although, in fairness, Center Street really is not a tailgate. It's just somebody's college apartment turned inside out, and there's 3,000 people out there.
Is Hafley on the hot seat, you think? He said BC.
Boston College is one of the more disappointing teams in the country so far. I don't think he's on the hot seat.
People are saying we broke Jerkovich.
Nobody said that.
I said it.
No, nobody said that. I'm serious about the grills. They don't have grills. You can't cook food in the Grove. And they tell you that it's the best tailgate in the country. You can't have their food's all catered. It's all dips, which dips are fine. Love dips. It's not a tailgate, Justin A. It's not. 888 Stool 22. David in New Jersey, go ahead.
Hey, Brandon. I was just talking about I was thinking about in the SEC. So Kentucky, Tennessee really fighting for second in their side of the conference.
I agree.
You say Kentucky isn't very good, but I thought you said they were better than Tennessee. I mean, I'm just questioning, like, who do you think is better, Pittsburgh or Florida? Like, not what's a better win, but, like, because obviously Pittsburgh wasn't at full strength, but who do you think's better, Pittsburgh or Florida? Like, at both good teams.
I think if they had their starting quarterback, Pitt would be better. I think Pitt has one of the best defensive lines in the country. Their offensive line's good. I don't like their coach. I think they're too conservative on offense. But if Slovis is playing, they're a better team than Florida. Florida had the huge wave up and then the huge wave down. But that quarterback's just too inconsistent, man. It's just too inconsistent, and they got good pass rushers, but they're soft in the middle of their D. So I would say Pitt's a little better. I don't know that I said Kentucky isn't a very good team. I do think they're a good team. I said I think they weren't very good the other night. Like, Kentucky went down there and won, but it wasn't a game where I'm like, oh my God, Kentucky's good. Look how sharp they are. Like, they didn't play well either, and they didn't start playing well until like
team as well.
What's that?
Do you think Tennessee's a good team as well? Like, you think they're very, very, very close?
It's weird. I think Tennessee's fine. I just think I wasn't as impressed with them as I wanted to be. Like they win at Pitt, but they played a backup quarterback. Like I think they should have won by 3 or 4 touchdowns. Like, their offense, I would have expected them to score more than they did the other night. So I think it's Georgia won with a bullet. Tennessee or Kentucky is next, and neither one has proven which one's going to be that team yet. That's my opinion.
Brandon, one more thing, just letting you know, Tyler Buckner, he's not on the depth chart because he's having shoulder surgery.
No, I see that. I saw that now. I've been going busy. 888 Stool 22. 888 Stool 22. Line 9. Thomas in Chicago.
Hey, Brandon. I got a couple quick takes. First one is, do you think Notre Dame and LSU and possibly Florida regret not going after Urban Meyer?
No, it's still the honeymoon phase for all of these teams. I know Florida doesn't. Florida's taking their chances with Napier. He's recruiting at a high level. You know, he got the top 10 win already. So Florida's, well, I don't think they're all that good. Florida has to feel good where they're at. Notre Dame might be a little more interesting. Like, you lose your first 2 games as a coach, fine, but then you lose to Marshall at home. Whew, I don't know where you get happiness right now, where you get hope from Notre Dame. I don't know. If you're a Notre Dame fan, what are you hinging your hope on? Because Drew Pine, you threw him out last year. Now all of a sudden you're going to act like he's the savior again? Who's the other one? LSU? Well, they're all just idiots anyway, so who knows?
Yeah, and then my last one is how many one-loss playoff teams do you think could get out? Because I feel like a lot are on the table because, like, how are they going to judge? Like, let's see, like, Clemson loses only 1 game, but they're kind of trash, and like Texas. I'm on the whole Texas back, but like with Quinn Ewers out for 6 weeks now, Hudson Card is a good solid backup. But then, like, if Georgia loses to Alabama, it's like, how are these one-loss teams going to be judged to get into those top 4 spots?
I think there's going to be an absence of a lot of one-loss teams this year. I think that everybody behind the top 2 or 3 can be beaten on any given Saturday. I think you'll have a 2-loss team in the playoff this year because I don't think you're going to have very many one-loss teams like Clemson. Maybe they have 1 loss, but I think they're going to have 2. I think they're going to lose in the regular season and lose to Miami in the conference championship game. You know, Alabama could lose 2 games. I know that's crazy, but they could. They could lose a regular season game then lose to Georgia. So too early to get a prediction on that, though. 88 Stool 22. His name is Coleman in Kentucky. Go.
Hey, Brandon, I just wanted to ask you about what happened in Iowa City. I agree that what happened was classless from Hawkeye Nation, a.k.a. Kentucky's little brother. But thank God Big T wasn't up there, because if he got hit with that can like Casey Smith did, there's no telling how many lawsuits would have come out of there.
Yeah.
But I was just wondering if you've issued an apology to Casey Smith, because I think there's an argument to be made that you threw indirectly a high noon can at a pregnant woman.
I don't think there's that argument to be made at all. I don't think there's an argument to be made. However, and Katie can back me up. She was with me. I apologized. How many times would you say, Katie?
A billion.
Yeah, probably. I would say 100 times in reality. I apologize. But Casey's she's a baller. She was fine. Like Casey was like, oh, don't worry about it. Nothing. She was ready to go. She was ready to play ball. 8-8 Stool 22. 8-8 Stool 22. I wanted to apologize to her. She would not let me take blame at all, and it wasn't my fault. Like that clip is a standalone clip. There were a lot of other things said. Paul in San Francisco, go.
Sorry, Brandon. Just still reveling in this past weekend.
Sounds like it.
You know, there was a lot of yelling that needed to be done, but you know, because our fans are a little more respectful and a little bit more better when it came to yelling than those yell leaders down there in College Station.
What a bunch of assholes that they are. I mean, it's one thing to, if you saw the video today, Texas A&M yell leaders had their thing about App State on the other day, and not only did they say, "Oh, App's not a state. Where are they? They're hillbillies." They were like, their football players can't even read. Like, yeah, but they beat your fucking ass on Saturday. Go ahead.
Exactly. Now, I'm there, you know, fan base excited about what's going to happen with College Game Day coming into town this weekend. But I want to ask you, November 12th, Huntington, West Virginia, App State rolls into Marshall. Is that going to be possibly one of the biggest games in G5 history? Both teams are looking pretty square on to, you know, go under.
Yeah, biggest game in G5 history is something. That Houston SMU game a couple years ago, Houston Memphis a couple years ago, last year, or a couple years ago, BYU, Coastal Carolina. Like, these are all gigantic games in Group of Five just in recent years. If they both take care of their business, yeah, I think it could. But listen, like, App State's already got a loss, so it's not like they're going to – App State's never going to be playing to, like, get into a playoff this year or anything. So I don't know that all of the – I'll say this about it. The Sun Belt has thrown its nuts on the table this year as not only one of the – or as the best G5 conference, but also as, like, one of the most exciting conferences to follow. Like, when they get into conference play, this shit's going to be crazy. This shit's going to be wild. It's going to be a hell of a conference to follow. 8-8 Stool 22. Brandon, the college football show needs to be an hour before the morning kicks. Do you not think I know that, Jonathan Irvin? You think Brandon Walker is making decisions about the college football show? Or do you think the college football show is about the live audience? It's about getting the audience hyped up before their game. It's not about the home audience. We understand that. Dave and Dan make those decisions. 8-8 Stool 22. And whoever this is in the chat continuing to say, Brandon, what about J.J. McCarthy's performance? If you fucking Michigan fans poke your chest out and thump your chest one more time about how good you look after beating the worst, most embarrassing non-conference schedule in America, I'm going to lose my mind. Yeah, you look good. You know why? You're playing fucking Hawaii. It's the worst. Colorado State, Hawaii, UConn, the most embarrassing non-conference schedule in the country, and Michigan has it. I'm not judging J.J. McCarthy against those teams. 8-8 Stool 22. We go to line 2. Kurt in Atlanta. Go.
Hey, Brandon, what's up, you fucking idiot? Hey, just a quick rant real quick. I'm a big-time Gator fan. Obviously, this past weekend was fucking really hard to watch. Anthony Richardson was goddamn atrocious, couldn't hit the wide side of a barn. With that being said, everything he came out and said on Sunday when he took full responsibility for the loss, basically acknowledged the fact that he didn't help the team at all. As a Gator fan, obviously love to hear that he actually took a little bit of responsibility, something that we never saw during the Dan Mullen era. With as much parity as there is in the SEC this year, wouldn't be surprised if the Gators do make a little bit of a run here. And, it had a feeling like it was a little bit of like Tim Tebow's The Promise back from the 2008 days. But that's just my take. Also, Mr.
Kurt, you dumb cunt. Anthony Richardson, after getting Kentucky's dick broke off in his face, came out and said, well, I take full responsibility. Well, no shit. No fucking shit. You're giving him flowers for that? You're giving it, and then you're telling me it's like Tim Tebow's promise. Tim Tebow, who already had won a national title, had already won a Heisman. This guy, tell me that again, Kurt. Tell me that. Rewind that and play that again.
Dude, all I'm
Rewind that and play it again, Kurt.
Dan Mullen and
Kurt, I ain't got nothing to do with Dan Mullen. Dan Mullen's at ESPN. He doesn't have a job. Rewind that. Tell me again about how Anthony Richardson, after getting Kentucky whipping his ass, after Kentucky whipped his ass, he said, "Oh, my bad," and that's like Tim Tebow's speech.
Don't be surprised if we see it on a plaque one day. Bye.
What are you gonna get on some Gator fan's teeth? How's it gonna get on plaque? What in the fuck? Oh my God, Kurt in Atlanta. We're going to have a scoreboard soon. Dumbest fucking callers in the history of the show. Kurt in Atlanta. Good God. You know, I know he completed 11 of 39 passes. I know he threw a pick 6. I know he kept giving the ball to Kentucky, but he did say it was his fault. So, Tebow? What? Jesus Christ. You got 9 months and you come up with Kurt as a name. Jesus. Owen in Durham. I'm sure Katie's going to love this one. Hello, Owen.
Hey, how's it going, Brandon? I'm just curious. When are you going to admit UNC is good? Is it after they beat Notre Dame? After they win in Miami? Like Drake Man's
Shut up. Okay. I like the energy. The last couple of callers are full of piss and vinegar. UNC, by the way, struggled against FAMU. They beat App State. Got lucky to beat App State. They beat Georgia State by 7. I will probably never admit. I got a North Carolina fan in there that doesn't think North Carolina is good. So what do you want me to do? 88 stole 22. Jesus Christ. Oh, here's my guy. Bubs in Iowa. Go.
Brandon, Bubs at Cup Club. Hope you're doing average. We'll start with trivia, and then I'll just get to my main point here. What current SEC coach was actually born in Lincoln, Nebraska?
I believe it's Lane Aloysius Kiffin.
That is correct. And I think when he loses the Egg Bowl, maybe drops 1 or 2 in between there, Lincoln's going to be calling his name. That's my choice for Nebraska next head coach.
It's not a bad choice, and I don't want to say what I'm about to say. But I think in 2022, Ole Miss is, I don't know if it's a better job than Nebraska, but I think it's just as good of a job as Nebraska. Continue.
3 more.
Continue.
So let's get to the main point. Number 1, your content in Iowa City, laugh out loud, hilarious. I had tears in my eyes watching it. I saw a little bit of George Bush-esque, like dodging shoes when you were dodging beers. Thought that was hilarious. I think Coleman from Kentucky and Miguel from Fort Worth are just little bitches, but that's besides the point. Let's just talk about it. It's the worst performance I've ever seen, the worst team I've ever seen put together. And then on top of that, you have the nepotism in the coaching staff. My question to you, Brandon, is from a Mississippi State perspective, do you remember, does one year really just stick out as just, fuck, this is the worst year of football ever as a fan?
2001, I was 22 years old. We had won the West in 98. We had gone 10-2 in 99. We had beaten Florida and Auburn and really should have won the West in 2000, but our defense struggled. But coming into 2001, we looked like we had everything coming back. Senior quarterback, we were picked in the top 10. We had fans talking about the Rose Bowl. We went 3-8 that year. We lost to everybody. It was the worst season. I was in college. It was the worst season of my life, 2001. I will never forget it. And we were. It was such a bad season. We were shitty for 8 more years. We made one bowl in the 2000s. From 2001 2010, we made one bowl game. And 2001 caused all that. So it fucking sucks. Iowa's not that bad. Iowa's still going to win 7 games. But I just don't know how you get excited about Saturday if your offense can't score a point.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing. I can't get excited to watch my team. It's just terrible, terrible football. I used to love it, but the offense, man, it's just that bad. But, Brandon, appreciate your time, and glad you came down to Iowa City.
Thank you very much. We go to Gerald in New York. Hello, Gerald.
Brady Walker, my guy.
Hello.
I have a question for you.
It's a good thing you called.
Michigan State and Huskies game.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm a Huskies fan. I'm from Washington, but just moved to New York a year ago. They've been putting. I told you like couple weeks ago they might get turned up, and they've been putting up like 40+ points a game. They have Stanford and UCLA, and I want to put money on a game, and I'm trying to get your take on that Michigan State and Washington game.
Michigan State's interesting. So many transfers last year, and they look like they picked up where they left off this year. But you got to go 2 time zones away. You got to play where you're not comfortable, and you got to play a team who's a little bit live with a new coach. That being said, Michael Penix, is that still what we're rolling with out there? I think Michigan State's about to get upset. I just think it's in 2 weeks when they go to Maryland. I think they'll survive Washington. But if Washington's taking a bigger step forward, I remember last year, Washington was one of my favorite teams of the year. I thought they were going to be very good, and then they just fucking sucked. And I can't get over it. So until they fix that, I'm going to be out on them. 8-8, still 22. How you guys doing over here? Katie's active in the chat. Everybody's just talking to Katie. It's Katie's Simp Day in the chat, by the way. Sam in Connecticut, go.
Hey, what's going on, Brandon? Hey, I was looking around at some lines today, and Air Force -17 against Wyoming. Wyoming is horrible, and Air Force is the best rushing attack in the country, top 4 offense in the country. And then Miami, I think Texas A&M wins that ball game, but plus at 5.5, the spread seems a little weird. And then USC -12.5 against Fresno State. I don't know. Just wanted to get your thoughts on those games, and I'll hang up and listen. Thanks.
USC, I'm not going to be betting against until somebody shows they can stop them. I think USC's offense is going to travel wherever they go, and I think USC's got a chance to be really, really special. TJ, any idea what the other 2 games were?
What?
It's your attention to detail that really sets you apart, DJ.
I was on the phone.
Who were the other 2 games he said, Katie? A&M. A&M Miami was one. I don't know. I'm going to figure that one out later, but the line screams bet A&M. It absolutely screams bet A&M. And I still don't remember the other one. 8-8, still 22. We go to Noah, who's in North Carolina. Come on and raise up. Take your shirt off. Twist it around your head. Spin it like a helicopter. Go, Noah.
Hey, Brandon. I don't usually normally do futures here, so I wanted to share these with you and see if you could talk me off of doing them. I hate having my money just sit there.
Oh.
I had 1 Heisman and then 2 championship winners that I felt looked pretty good. Heisman opened up as a little bit higher than what he is right now, but Caleb Williams sitting at +300. I feel like he's going to probably start to slowly run away with it just due to his schedule. I know he has Utah towards the end and then has Notre Dame there, but who they haven't really looked good. But I figure he might be good shot at +300. And then we have for the 2 championships that I was looking at, piggybacking off of that, I like USC at +1500 as well. I think they might be a team that looks like they're automatically getting into the playoffs here. I mean, they have that game against Utah, but other than that, it looks like it might be an easy road for them.
Yeah.
And then going a little bit further down, I know you don't like their fan base, but Arkansas at +8,000 looks a little juicy to me.
To win what?
To win the championship. I know it's
to win what the SEC championship?
No, the entire championship.
Oh, Noah, just send me the money, brother. Don't waste that. Listen, Arkansas their hog dick is just flapping in the wind right now. That team's losing 4 or 5 games. The quarterback's not good enough to go and win some of these road games. He's going to have to go win. So just do not bet on Arkansas, please. I beg you. 8-8, still 22. Kevin in Boston.
Hey, Brandon, first-time caller, lifetime Notre Dame fan. Just wanted to get your thoughts on, just how Notre Dame is going to get out of this, constantly embarrassing ourselves on the national level. I thought, a lot of it had to do with, Brian Kelly and some culture bullshit going on there that when they would get to that stage, they would always just crumble. But here we are, week 2, losing to Marshall. I'm scared for what the rest of the season has to come. I would love to know what you think would get Notre Dame out of all this.
Well, it's a danger time in South Bend because this is the strongest schedule you've had in a long time. You've got BYU coming up. You've got USC coming up. You have Clemson coming up. You have a trip to North Carolina coming up that if you can't score is going to be a problem. Like there's a lot of fucking action on this schedule that hasn't been on schedules in the last couple of years. So if he can figure it out very quickly, maybe they get to 8-4 or something like that. But otherwise, you might have to eat one this year. You might have to eat one and chew on one because Notre Dame hasn't been just outright bad in a long time. They've been very, very good. But the guy is recruiting at a very, 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 very high level. So maybe you just wait and see. Maybe you just eat one. Maybe you just take it. I don't know. It's going to be rough. I don't know what to tell you, man. Blake in Tuscaloosa. Hello.
What's going on, Brandon? Hey, as you are the true king of the South, you understand our fan base more than most.
Yeah.
Here's one thing I got to ask. How soon before Brian, Church of the Highland, Harsin gets fired down at Auburn? Because as we know, Nebraska's first to the buffet table, as you say.
Mm-hmm.
It's the time's ticking. San Jose State, I mean, are you kidding me? I mean, that's just as piss poor as you can get. Nothing makes me happier to watch them lose with a terrible coach. And as much as I want him to stick around for the next 10 years, how soon do you think he's gone?
I think he's probably gone by middle of October. I don't have TJ, pull up Auburn's schedule for me real quick. Before I go any further, Blake, can you tell me what you said Brian Harsin's name, but you said it as a full name. What was Brian Harsin's name again?
Church of the Highlands. It's the cult church that he goes to down in Auburn.
Yes, of course. Listen, Harsin sucks, and he's out of his element, out of his depth at Auburn. He's not very good. They tried to fire him last year. They jumped the gun. They were idiots to try to do it after 1 year. You just can't do that. So now pull that schedule up. I think they got Penn State this weekend. Then they got Missouri at home. After that, they have LSU at home, Georgia, Ole Miss, Arkansas in a row. He will not coach against Ole Miss and Arkansas, in my opinion. I think he's gone very, very soon, and they're going to get in line, try to get Matt Rule, who's going to be open after getting fired from Carolina very soon. Thank you very much. And Matt Rule at Auburn would probably be very good.
Almost there, brother. No show Wednesday, by the way.
No show Wednesday because we have the Barstool Upfronts, which is where we make all our money selling our podcasts and our shows. And as the number one guy here, I have to be there and give a speech. So some of that is true. We go to line 3, Braden in Erie. This guy, you got to wake up pretty early with him. He's from Erie, PA. Go ahead.
Hey, Brandon, what's going on?
I love That Thing You Do. It might be pound for pound my favorite movie.
What's that?
I love That Thing You Do. It's a movie.
Oh, okay.
Well, the band is from Erie, PA.
Oh, okay. I'm having trouble hearing you. You're like cutting out pretty bad.
And terrible Sunday night cocksucker. Go ahead.
All right. Well, take a look at Air Force against Wyoming. I was on their win total over to start the year. They're a really good team. But anyways, I wondered what you thought of Penn State so far. I know they played Ohio this week.
Guys. Yeah, let me stop you there. Penn State, by the way, is just laying there. They're just laying there. They went on the road. They beat Purdue. Then they killed a team. They killed Ohio. They're going to go to Auburn. If they're 3-0 coming out of Auburn, look the fuck out. Singleton's a star. They got the freshman quarterback waiting in the wings. If Clifford's got to play well. If he doesn't, he's going to get passed. So Clifford, you got the bonus of a starter that has to play well. If he doesn't, you throw somebody in who might. So I love Penn State right now. Penn State, one of the most intriguing teams in the country because they might have something. Check them out. Doing that thing you do. Turning my heart into a million pieces like you always do. And you don't need to be cruel. The Oneaters. All right. I am very old. Dylan in Toronto, go.
Hey, Brandon. First of all, may not be the coochie, but sending some love from the Great White North.
Thank you.
2 questions for you. First thing, just wanted to know whose stock you would buy out of all the transfers from the past year, whose stock has risen the most, and why is it Caleb Williams? And then second of all, what's the life update? How you doing? I know it's a tough summer.
Thanks for asking, by the way. It was the worst summer of my life. My dad died. I was homeless for 2 months. It was awful. I've been going through it recently, but I started working out this morning. I did 30 push-ups, and I did some time on the boxing bag. Yeah, the goal was 50. I couldn't make it, but still, I did some time on the boxing bag. Things are going well. And as far as transfer rankings, how's Caleb Williams not number 1 right now? Like, that's easy. That's an easy answer. And Jordan Addison's probably number 2 right behind him. Thanks for asking about me. Nobody ever asks about me. 8-8 Stool 22. Who's got the most interesting thing to talk about? Ian in Des Moines, go.
Hey, Brandon. I'm not even going to bring up those Hawkeye fans, but I am wondering, do you really think Matt Campbell goes to the coaching graveyard over there in Nebraska?
Well, before he got to Iowa State, and he has resurrected that program, or not even resurrected, but he's built something there, people would say, right or wrong, Iowa State was a coaching graveyard. But he has proven it's not. He has proven if you're a good coach, you can win, and you can win in Ames, and you can get people interested in Ames, and that's good. It's strong for Iowa State. But if he did it there, then he could also do it in Nebraska. And like people say, maybe the better example could have been Kansas. Kansas hired the right coach 2 years ago. They hired Lance Leipold, and he was coming from Buffalo. He had been at the Division III school. It wasn't Whitewater, it was the other one. Maybe it was Whitewater. Anyway, Lance Leipold's the right coach, and he goes to Kansas, a coaching graveyard that's killed coaches before, and he's starting to do pretty well. So I don't believe in the coaching graveyard stuff. I believe if you're a good coach and you got buy-in from the people, you can win. But I don't think Matt Campbell goes to Nebraska either, to answer that question. We only have a minute left. I'll talk to the chat. How you guys doing? How you guys doing? TJ's hat. TJ's hat.
He's been in for a long time.
Michael Anderson. Syracuse. Syracuse ain't bad. Syracuse beats Purdue. They might get ranked. Teams that ain't ranked that should be ranked. Mississippi State. Andrew Cooper says Bama's first 3-loss season since 2010. I'd pump my brakes on that, but I wouldn't rule out a 2-loss season. I wouldn't rule it out at all. Brandon, fellow Bulldog here. You agree with State not being ranked yet, or is it a wait and see with LSU? Yeah, we'll wait and see, but they should be ranked. Like, they're better than some teams. They're better than Ole Miss, who's ranked. They're better than several teams that are ranked. They're better than fucking A&M. A&M still being ranked is the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life. Preseason polls are a guess, and you find out soon that they shouldn't have been number 6. Well, why the fuck do you drop them to 24? Like, drop them all the way out. 8-8 Stool 22. Fuck! I made it. 15 more seconds. I love you all. Tell your friends about this show. Tell them that I'm electric, that I'm great, that they need to watch. Tell them, please. I'll suck a dick to get more people to listen to this show. Goodbye.